Hello and welcome in this episode where I'm gonna talk a little bit about the theories of the different type of lighting style. So here I'm using a 3D model to demonstrate as if this is you and how to very well light yourself. So for this I'm gonna start by just making simple adjustment. Let's say these represents a light, of course, so I'm gonna do my best to get you something cool. So at first I want to tell you why you shouldn't put a light underneath you like this, because if this is you and you put a light underneath, this is used mostly in horror movies, so you can see all the shadow in your face doesn't look natural, and that actually makes you look scary more than anything and not welcoming. Another thing that you should avoid is actually a light directly above you like this. Why? Because it's gonna create, especially like this. Let's try this here. Here we go. First of all, you're gonna see a lot of your face gonna be in the shadows, and that's gonna create a big issue in terms of lighting. For example, a big no-no in terms of lighting is having your eyes under the shadow. So this is, of course, it's a cartoon character, so it's not very clear, but if you had a light above you, you're gonna more likely have shadows underneath your eyes or on your eyes, and that's again not very well looking and generally not very welcoming. So this is why the rule of third tells us to do something like this. Have one light to your left or right, depending of your course and your angle, another light from the other side, something like that would be great to have a clear lighting. Okay, so two type of lights. You can have one light stronger than the other, it doesn't matter that much. So for example, let's say this one is a little bit faint. As long as you have your whole face on light, it's not bad. Personally, I prefer to have both lights at the same power. And what you need to do, because let's say you have another, let's say a wall behind you. So the problem with having a wall behind you is sometimes if the wall itself is dark, so in this case I'm gonna make it dark, let me make it dark, let's say like this. So the problem with this sometimes is we don't see the details of your shoulders compared to the background. So for this reason, what we should do, I'm gonna just put this a little bit far away to be able to do what I wanted to do, is we're gonna put another type of light. Here we have the option to do two things. Firstly, another light pointing at us. Okay, this could be from above or below, doesn't really matter as much. Personally, I prefer to have it a little bit below, but what's interesting, this is generally we're gonna give it a different color, so something like this. Rose, see this creates what we call a rim light. I like to have it on the shoulders a little bit like that, so you can see a little bit on the face, a little bit on the shoulders. And what we can do again is add another light to the other side, and let's do this very quickly. Here we go. And let's say blue. And for this type of color matching, there's a good website that you can get to called Adobe Color. Just type it in this here. Okay, so here what you can do is choose a color. So for example, I choose the red. It's gonna give me the colors that go with red, and there's different type of complementary colors and stuff like that that you could use personally I prefer to use the what is it, the analogy, and take two extremes. For example, if I go for the yellow, generally I have a good green with it. If I go for the rose, I have a good blue. So, and you don't necessarily need to follow this, but this is a very good way to do it, because when you do it this way you have a very good color matching. Yeah, and otherwise you could get inspired by cinema. Cinema is another good way to do stuff. For example, here's another one. You have either orange and green is a good combination. Blue and rose is a very good combination, and those actually we see them a lot in sci-fi and good movies. So those for the colors. Now another thing that you could add that can add more personality is actually a light facing the wall. This light, let me just do it like this. There we go. And this light facing the wall gonna separate the wall from you. We can have it on, let's say, orange, like this. I'm gonna put it above to be able to, and a little bit stronger, maybe something like that. Yeah. So now if I'm gonna add a camera like that, there we go. Okay, gonna zoom this bigger, and maybe the blue light a little bit stronger, just a little bit stronger. Having the one behind here, I want a good frame light behind. And yeah, this looks a very good look if we render it. This is gonna give me a calculated image of what the final look will be like. It's something like this. As you can see, a very good lighting. We have a very face, the face itself is very clear, and you have a very good lighting. You are separated from the background. See that color, how it separated us completely from the background. So now even when the character we have, or yourself, wearing something dark and the background is lit with a color, you can differentiate you from the wall, even though you almost have the same color of the wall. Another important thing as well is keep in mind that a lot of these lights are optional, but I want to show you this technique that you can replicate in real life, as I showed you in the video above, how I do it myself. I don't have a background wall, so I don't have a light on the wall to fill my my background. Plus I'm moving out, so it's not good looking, so I prefer to keep it dark. But otherwise a good light like this, a little bit of blue, a little bit of rose, or you can do as I said, a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow. These warm colors, just to give more personality to your studio, is a very good choice. If you want recommendation of lights, I'm gonna put them down below as well. Yeah, so that's it for the lighting. I really hope that this quick introduction to lighting and how to light your set gonna take you to the next level in terms of lighting. Yeah, so to avoid, another thing that I want to state is to avoid the shadows. As you can see, I have some shadows on the neck. I don't like that very much. I can try to do this. So yeah, this is all optional that you can do, but make sure that you have as much less shadows as possible and more light on your face, without really all the shadow taking all the power out of you. But hey, make sure that whatever you do, you are looking good. You have not a lot of shadows on your face, especially on the eyes, and yeah, then you will have a very awesome look with no problem at all. So yeah, Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.